Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Well, folks, the Lakers get blown off the floor by the Clippers. And what did we talk about? What have we been talking about? LeBron James in 2019 went and got Anthony Davis, which I would think would be the best center in the league. Right? What was LeBron? About 34 years old. So let's just say again, what if Michael Jordan, let's just say when Michael Jordan, well, I ain't gonna say that. Let's just say if Michael Jordan at 34 years old went and got the best center in the league. Yeah, I don't even think he would have retired. Which I would think would be back then, maybe Shaq. Maybe Shaq. I don't think it would be Patrick Ewing. I don't think it was Hakeem. I don't think it was none of these other guys. They were pretty much way past their prime. I would say Shaq. And if Michael Jordan would have achieved, I don't know, in the 6-year span, I don't know, they've been together 6-7 years or something like that, only a bubble championship while people were sick and dying. Goodness gracious, folks. Making the play-in, not making the playoffs, being swept, being gentlemen swept by a plumber with no all-star teammate, no all-NBA teammate, no all-NBA defensive teammates. This is what happened to Jordan. That's why I said, man, LeBron James is basically been out here playing for money. Literally out here playing for money. And the NBA knows this. The NBA knows this. The NBA knows this. So yeah, LeBron James stays in this game basically stat padding. You know, all these miles on his body and all these years that he done played, all these Olympics, all these FIBAs, all these playoffs, all these finals. When they're getting a butt whoop, he just can't sit down and call the game. We talked about this. You know why he stays out here stat padding. It don't matter if they're beating the hell out of somebody or they're getting the hell beat out of them. The reason why he stat pads is because, especially if they're losing, the reason why he sits out there and stat pads and don't go back to the court, go back to the bench, is because he knows, and the media knows one thing: nobody watches the NBA, especially his fans that you have to sit there and argue and fight with every day about nonsense about this guy. So he knows his own fans do not watch his games, especially the ones on the East Coast. They play so damn late. They play so damn late, and that's what I was thinking a long time ago too. That, you know, but since he went over there to the Lakers, you know, at least you had that balance of power in the East with him being in the East, an unfair balance of power. But nevertheless, at least you had a balance. You know what I'm saying? You had Bird and you had Magic on two separate coasts. You know, you have Michael Jordan in the 90s, and you had a lot of great players on the West Coast and things like that. You know, he was supposed to be the East Coast. LeBron was in Cleveland, and Kobe was supposed to be the West Coast. You know, but when he went to the East Coast, when he went to the West Coast, all the good players were over there. All the great players went to the damn West Coast. And I think that really hurt a lot of NBA ratings. You know, because a lot of people aren't going to stay up and watch these games. If you live on the East Coast, these games start at damn 10 o'clock. Most people have to go to work in the morning. So I'm just saying, man, that really hurt a lot of the NBA too, as far as their viewership and stuff like that. And I don't know what the numbers are still, as far as like the demographic, as far as what do you want to call it, as far as population in the United States. But I always thought more people, you know, lived on the East Coast by a big margin. I might be wrong, but that's what I thought it was, because, you know, a lot of the Midwest is empty. So I thought always more people lived on the East Coast. Nevertheless, he doesn't care anyways. He only cares about himself. So yeah, that's basically why he stat pads like that, because his bots, his fans, whatever you want to call them, don't watch these games, folks. They know the games aren't watchable. even the people that live on the West Coast, they don't watch these games, folks. They just don't. So he just stays out there and stat pads. Oh, the Lakers lost. What are you blaming LeBron for? He got his. And it's always been like that for a hot minute now, especially since he's been in LA. He got his, right? So his almost $50 million a year contract is warranted. Did Bronny play? I don't know if Bronny played. One of my subs said he airballed a free throw. That's nothing new. They'll just say Father Time, and Father Time don't exist when he does certain things. But when he does other certain things, that's just Father Time. They got every excuse for this guy, and he like a retarded kid, or a kid with some kind of mental problems, and the kid don't know no better, or a protective mother over a kid that always does wrong. And that's how the media is with this guy. That's how the media is. I was trying to tell you, when this guy the media already knows when this guy retires, they ain't got nothing else to talk. A lot of people are gonna lose a lot of money. A lot of people are gonna lose a lot of money off this failure loser. And this is why we was talking about last night. The NBA, the NFL is king, and the NBA is princess. And this guy has made it that way. And somebody said Lamar Jackson is the LeBron James of the NFL. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. And I guess we could say that as far as overrated game. His game is overrated, folks. He's not clutch. He's not clutch. Him coming back and Andrews dropping that ball, that wasn't clutch, as far as that wasn't a game-winning drive. That wasn't a game-winning drive. We'll see if I have a lot of Lamar haters. Look, guys, this is what I can tell you about my channel. As much as YouTube don't like me, I haven't had a lot of haters on my channel. I'm trying to tell you, I really haven't had a lot of haters on my channel. I think it's because, I have strong opinions, but I really explain them, my opinions, right? I don't like, and people know my opinions don't conform with the norm, with the world, and stuff like that outside of sports. So I don't try to play the Democrat side, the Republican side, the black side, the white side, the government side. That's what it is. So I think a lot of my subs know when I talk, I'm being genuine. And also, when I say something, I really explain it. I won't just come out here and say, oh, Lamar's a choke artist. Lamar choked again. No, I will explain it to nauseam why. And I just won't explain one thing. I will explain it to nauseam. Sometimes we even forget the subject we're even talking about, in a way, because I will go into other things trying to explain what I'm talking about. So I don't get a lot of hate on here. Sometimes we talk about the whole Kobe thing and stuff like that, and him not being in my top 5 and stuff. And I get the Kobe fans say stop the hate, and and what I think about that is, I think they're hurt because a lot of other channels really have hated on Kobe Bryant. And I'm not really the channel. I'm the one that defends Kobe. I just am. I got many videos out there that explain in detail why I defend Kobe, why Kobe James is Kobe James. I'm gonna get some hate now. Why Kobe Bryant is better than LeBron James. You kind of feel sorry for Kobe in a way. All that stuff he had to go through. With that whole legal thing and stuff like that, and for him to come out of that and win 2 championships, that's just nuts. And at the time, many people, how they felt about that whole legal case, they still feel the same way today. Like Kobe Bryant, out of all people, I mean, Kobe Bryant did hit the clubs. Kobe Bryant went out of control. Kobe put basketball first. Kobe, sometimes could be arrogant and stuff like that. He kind of grew up in a whole different atmosphere. He didn't always grow up in the United States, and he wasn't like the guys that was in the early 2000s in the whole hip hop culture and stuff like that. I think he matured faster at an early age and stuff like that. He really put basketball first because he wanted to be greater or as great as these other guys that my top 10, you guys know my top 5. And he wanted to be greater or as great as these guys. And he always knew it was through hard work in the gym. That's all he knew, folks. He didn't know it was through the media. He didn't know that. He always knew it was through hard work. He just never... Did you imagine Kobe Bryant having the excuses made for him that LeBron James has had all of his career? That's crazy, folks. That's crazy. Kobe Bryant never had these excuses. And the fact that Kobe had to go through all he went through in those legal cases and still come out on top, you think LeBron James could go through stuff like that? And still come out on... He didn't even come out on top, and he got damn pampered all of his career. Failed and got pampered. That's crazy, folks. I mean, you gotta give it to Kobe, man. You gotta give it to him. So yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't have too much hate on my channel. There's guys that, whoa, they have a lot of hate on their channel. It's incredible. I just think I wouldn't even want those type of people subs on my channel. I just really wouldn't. Because the hate some of these people get is crazy. I mean, you got to put so much energy to, a whole bunch of people that hate your channel. But like I said, I don't have any real hate on my channel. I could go to my comment, and I know I don't have as many subs as these other guys. But when you have all those people just putting hate comments and stuff like that, I just want a whole bunch of subs like that, folks. I'll take my subs and feel like, I'll just take my subs and I feel like, me and my subs are like close. I'm talking to you like one-on-one, like a man. This ain't no show. This is what we really think about sports and life in general. In a real way, it's not a whole bunch of trigger bait and a whole bunch of stuff like that. But yeah, man, I just like to really explain what I'm talking about to my subs to a T. I heard this stuff. Scottie Pippen, this guy, he says that Victor Wembanyama, not only was he kept talking about, oh, he would take him number 1 in the draft and all this stuff, and fine. I was thinking that too when I first seen the dude. I really thought he's not a bad player, but I actually thought he was more than what he was. I really thought he was more than what he was. And guys, I can tell you, let's just say since the 2000s, these guys really, for the hype that they've been getting, they're really not more than they're not what we've been told. With this ESPN and all these different, with social media and, just the hype train in general. In the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2020s, these guys coming into the NBA really haven't lived up to the hype. And that started with the LeBron James. He really hasn't lived. He's the biggest guy that had not lived up to the hype. They said this guy was the most hyped player coming into the NBA. More than Wilt, which is a damn lie. Is a damn lie. Wilt is the most hyped player coming into the NBA. And he exceeded all those expectations. Yeah, but they said LeBron James was more hyped than Wilt, Jordan, Magic, Kareem, Bird. All these guys, even Shaq. Any of these great guys that had this hype coming into Kareem. No. The way LeBron James started his career and the way it ended with the Cavs, the first stint, no, folks. He didn't exceed all expectations if he ran from his team. And he was melting down. He was choking. He was missing the playoffs. He was getting blown out by international plumbers in the FIBA, in the Olympics, and all that. Get out of here, folks. So Wemby's I would say he's been a good player. To me, he ain't been a great player. A great player that exceeded all these expectations when they first came into the NBA is not him. I could throw out a lot of names from Michael Jordan to, I'm saying first 2 years, to Magic, to Kareem, to Will. So a lot of these guys, Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm just saying, folks, these guys that have been coming in since the 2000s, they've been overrated to me for all the hype that they've been getting. Yes, they've been good, but they, as far as their expectations and their hype, but they haven't been great compared to that. Have they turned into great players? Yes. In their whole career, but when they first came into the NBA, their first, I don't know, maybe 8 years, it just hasn't been there, folks. It's overhyped, so people can make money and things like that. Nevertheless, Scottie Pippen goes on to say that he thinks Victor Wembanyama will be a player that could break Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point record in one game. 100 points in one game by Victor Wembanyama. Scottie Pippen, man. I mean, I don't know, folks, with Scottie Pippen, man. I mean, I guess the way you would think, because these guys shoot so many threes, that these players will be averaging 35 to 40 points a game. Easily, all the big stars with all the three-pointers they shoot. You think it will be spread out with all the superstars in this league that they will be scoring 35 to 40 points a game. Easily. All of them. But the fact is, all this three-point shooting and all this high scoring a game, what it is, you just have more players that really shouldn't be shooting threes. That's why the scores are so high, because you have a lot of players who aren't playing positional basketball out there getting extra buckets. Now, if they was playing positional basketball and just your three-point shooters, maybe you want to say only your superstars were shooting all the threes like that, shooting the majority of the threes, then maybe the superstars will be averaging 35 to 40 points per game, easily. But you just got a lot of guys out there shooting threes who ain't even superstars, who should be shooting threes and stuff like that. So I don't think so that he's ever going to break that record. Because for one, he don't shoot enough mid-range shots. He don't shoot enough. He don't shoot enough paint shots. None of this stuff, folks. He just don't. And he's not a good three-point shooter. He's just not. As many, he might have those nights. You're like, oh man, that dude was on. That man hit 6 for 7. It really hasn't translated to him being a good three-point shooter or a great three-point shooter when you go look at his percentage. This is what you want. When you want him to get your last shot, it's going to be a three. Wow. A 7'4" guy, his last shot is going to be a three-pointer. He definitely ain't going to be no post move. He don't want to do this, folks. And they just lost last night to the Heat. Unless Jimmy Butler came back. A Jimmy Butler-less Heat. I mean, are they going to make the playoffs? I got to go look at the standings. It's going to look real bad if they don't make the playoffs. So, yeah, here we go again. The Lakers beat nobody. And then when they got to play somebody, they get manhandled. AD forgets how to play basketball. Suddenly, when they play somebody, LeBron James, you got to, like I said, man, these aren't real Laker fans, man. Well, a lot of these people ain't real NBA fans in general. And I was saying last night, are we just, do I just need to retire from talking basketball? I might, folks. I don't know. It's the same song and dance every year. Same song and dance every year. And we basically told you why. But how? Why the Lakers aren't a top 5 team in the West every year is because You got to play defense. Even though this is a no-touch era, to some degree, you have to play defense to get in that top 5 every year. I don't know where they are now. I thought they was hovering around top 5. Maybe they might be 6. We'll see at the end of the season. But you have to play some type of defense to be in that top 5. You just do. And the reason why they haven't finished in the top 5, but only one time during the bubble, is because those teams that he was on, I think all of them, except for the bubble team, and they played some level of defense for some reason that year. But those teams, I think they really could have played defense. But again, folks, it would expose LeBron James. It would expose LeBron James, because if they said we want to be a top 5 team, all his teams that he played on in LA, they could have did it, folks. He don't want to do it. It's too much effort for this guy. Too much effort. For rebounding and defense, it's too much effort for this guy. And it would expose, like, okay, well, the whole team is playing defense, but this guy. So what I'm trying to say is they're not allowed to play defense on a high level. They're just not. Because it would expose him. He would stick out like a sore thumb. And they can't have him looking bad in the media for not playing defense. Even though to a degree, yes, you see it anyways. With his team playing defense and him not playing defense. I'm talking about being top 5 every season. It would be worse than what we see now. So his team knows that, as long as they make the play in, they're good to go. That's the expectations for the Lakers now. As long as this dude can still be in the media and they say all these dumb things that lower the standard for the NBA in general, professional basketball, period, they have lowered the standard for this guy. I'm telling you, he's like a kid with Down syndrome, or a kid with a mental problem, or a mom that overprotects her child. That's what the media is for this guy. That's what the media does for this guy. If anybody else had did the shenanigans he does just on the court, they'd be calling him out. They would call him out. So this is what you got, LeBron fans. Whoever you are, I don't know. I really don't know who his fans are. I used to see who they were on these Facebook sports groups, and they're a bunch of nobodies, really. They're not real NBA fans, but who I can tell you they are people who just like to aggravate you. They like to be funny. What's the word? They like to be smart aleck. They like to trigger you. And these things are provided to them, are taught to them by the Nick Wrights. Oh, they don't like to explain nothing. Oh, no, they don't like to explain nothing of what they're talking about. You be on the Facebook group sports pages, and they will post something, and they'll say 2 sentences that was, or a sentence that was trigger bait. That's it. No explanation. Didn't break nothing down at all. And guess what? They're going to get 1,000 comments. You sit there. On the other hand, you break something down, it ain't going to barely get any, it ain't going to be seen hardly. It ain't going to get no comments, nothing like that. And that Facebook, these Facebook groups, is kind of like YouTube. I'm trying to tell you, they control the post. I started seeing that too. They control the post of people seeing your post. They only want LeBron James, the fans of LeBron James, they only want you to see their post. Because the majority of them on there are LeBron James fans. And they're smart too. They'll not comment when you can destroy LeBron James with facts, with numbers, with evidence, and his fans won't even respond. Because they found out if they don't respond, then your post won't be seen. Yeah, that's why I was like, man, I gotta get up out of them groups. It ain't even worth it. Everything is catered to him. Just like on YouTube, everything is catered to him, right? So your best views will be about LeBron James. Your best views, because that's how the media has made it. They had catered to him and they made money making off of him, off of lies, pretty much. So when you look at a lot of people's videos, well, other videos, they're not that good. The views aren't that good as the LeBron views. I would think not even close. So people are, just to make any money, they have to talk about this guy. It don't matter if you have guys come on here and say LeBron is trash, he's the most overrated player, again and again and again and a million times. They'll be up, because you would think, man, if you think he's all that, why are you saying it again? Because that's the only way you can make any money. I ain't making no money, but that's the only way these guys can make any money, is talk about him. And that's why he's still playing. We talked about this the other day. That's the only reason why he's still playing. Because people are still talking. Not only the media, but the fans that, well, not only the media and his so-called fans. I don't think he's got all these fans anyways. But the people that's, so-called hating on him, they're still talking about him. So he's laughing to the bank. You might be making a little bit of money, but this guy's laughing all the way to the bank. That's why he can get paid all this money every year and do nothing. Because people won't stop talking about it. Because the money. That's where the money is, folks. See what I tell you? A lie is beautiful. It feels good. The truth is ugly. Get it away from me. So they don't want to talk about anybody else. Because they haven't failed and can't fail and have no overall game like LeBron James. To the media, it's not interesting no more to promote greatness. Just saying, because that's what was always promoted in the NBA and sports in general was greatness. What happened? If greatness was always promoted, let's just say in the NBA that we're talking about right now, if greatness was always promoted as what sells in the NBA, from Magic to Bird to Kareem to Will to Russell to Jordan to Kobe to all these type of guys, if this is what was always sold, high level greatness, winning, all this stuff, great skill sets, all this stuff, if this is what was sold by the media, greatness was, what happened? What happened, folks? And that's not only to talk about LeBron James. I'm talking about the guys in LeBron's era. And not that some of the guys in his era haven't been great. I'm just saying they're promoting his failing career over their greatness. Whether they won 1 championship or they won 4 championships, they're literally celebrating his failed career over these guys' great career. That wasn't a failing career and actually had, had great basketball skill sets. From playing defense, can shoot the ball, can defend on a high level, these type of things. That Joker, right? What? How come nobody has said, well, the torch get past the Joker? He done destroyed LeBron James and AD twice in the playoffs. Won 3 MVPs, might win 4. Put up all these stats. So how come LeBron James isn't on the back burner? I promise you guys, it's literally like this guy is in the middle of his career or something. This is the way they're still promoting this guy. Like he's in the middle of his career. This would be like them promoting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar over the up-and-coming guys that's coming in. Over Isaiah Thomas, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Michael Jordan, Karl Malone, hell, even Magic Johnson at 40 years old. They still saying that Kareem is king. And they're sitting there putting out their rankings at the beginning of the year, and they say, oh yeah, Kareem is at 40 years old still in front of Magic. And Kareem is the 7th best player. In some people's eyes, he's the number 1 player. Folks, this is what this is like. This is no joke. Just because you can still do layups and dunks in a no-touch era, we know what time it is, folks. It's a no-touch era. It's not even, literally, not even American NBA basketball because of the rule changes. Because it's not a position game. There's no big man battling big man. Nobody playing defense. So let me get off of here, man. The NBA is such a damn disgrace. Such a disgrace. It's a disgrace. You guys tell me what you think.